Welcome everyone, in this video I'm going to do a complete walkthrough of the Sepia Tower Skyscraper. I hope you enjoyed. Let's get started. Welcome everyone to my newest video. This is something that I have been looking forward to for a long time now. I meant to do a full walkthrough of the entire Sepia Tower Skyscraper map that we built, and I wanted to show you that it does actually contain more than 600 individual rooms, all of them accessible by an intricate ventilation shaft system. The way this video is structured, I'm going to provide some explanations in the background while I walk with my avatar through the tower map. Hopefully you'll find that interesting, and as you can see, during large parts of the videos I'm just using a time lapse and speeding up as we go along, because it would take just too long. It took me about 3 hours to actually walk each and every one of these rooms, so I do not want you to go through all this. Maybe interesting for you to know is I am utilizing our 3D map. That is not new. Our gameplay videos makes extensive use of the 3D map that we custom built together with a plugin that was provided by a team of developers, Java developers from Michigan, actually. Yeah, Michigan University. Really cool guys, and very glad that we could use the plugin to actually extract player telemetry data like positions, and then we could plug it into our 3D map. Anyway, the 3D map is now a standard feature of our gameplay videos, and it's a standard feature of our gameplay actually. We use it live during our gameplay, and what you're seeing here, the 3D map right now, it's configured in a specific mode. It's configured in black and white mode, and black and white is another upcoming minigame mode that we are currently developing, in addition to the Mr. President Classic and TowerHeist videos that you've seen and game modes that we're playing. So, and the way this works, the black and white game mode map allows me to track my progress from a position perspective. You can see my avatar now going through all the rooms, but it will also allow me to keep track of which rooms I have visited and which I haven't. And in addition to that, it will also show an indication of the number of rooms I have yet to visit. Those will be the neutral rooms. So at the top left side you see these black and white scoreboard, the neutral rooms. Those are the rooms that I have yet to visit, and I'm right now playing for Team Black, because right at the beginning of this video my avatar was standing in the black nexus that codes the avatar to be part of the black team. So right now I'm conquering all the rooms for Team Black. Basically, the black and white game mode we're working on is an ingress type game where the two opposing teams try to conquer as many rooms as possible and try to hold them, because you can always reconquer a room. Now I have conquered this room for Team Black. It means that a member of Team White can go into this room after me and conquer it for his team. So this is the idea behind that, and we can play, for example, a limited time span, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and see which team has the highest score, or we could play until some team has achieved majority of the rooms, whatever. Anyway, that's still in development, and you haven't seen any gameplay videos because we're not yet playing this actively. Still figuring stuff out and balancing all that, but the 3D map is already there, so I'm utilizing this to keep track of my progress throughout the tower. So the way this works, I've already alluded to the black and white score that you can see on the top, but you might ask yourself, what are the columns of numbers that I can see beside the 3D map? Well, by this time of the video you may have figured out that the middle column, the one that is now indicating my floor position, that's actually all there is to it. It indicates the position of my avatar with my avatar color. I'm now floor 5, for example. And if you look closely, you can see that the left side column, this has always diminishing numbers, and what these numbers mean, they represent the number of neutral rooms a certain floor has. So we envision this to be of important tactical information for the teams when we're playing black and white, because when you are trying to decide for your team which floor to drop down to first, you might want to know, is there a floor that still has a high number of neutral rooms, which might be worth attacking, might be worth conquering. So this is what it indicates. And the opposite is also true. If you see, okay, there's a floor that has no neutral rooms anymore, that means it's completely conquered, and hopefully not by the opposing team, so this might be worthwhile attacking too. The right side column, that's the most interesting, I think. This is the counter, because the rooms of black and white, they stipulate that once your team has conquered all the rooms of one floor and hold them for 60 seconds, so that means you have all the rooms conquered for your team, and the opposing team is not able to reconquer at least one of those rooms for at least 60 seconds, that floor gets locked to your team, can no longer be reconquered. It's a major objective to achieve during black and white. Try to secure as many floors as you possibly can, because once they're locked, the opposing team can no longer reconquer them. You've locked in those results for your team. That's the idea behind it. But anyway, hopefully we're going to see gameplay videos of this during this year. Yeah, that's an introduction. This is what we're going to use, the 3D map that we specifically configured for the black and white game mode, and this will lead us along while my avatar happily walks through the tower. Okay, maybe there's some information that you might find interesting about the Sepia tower. The original idea behind this I came up with, must have been October or November 2022. I had this vision of building a massive office tower just for the sake of it on our survival server, and at this time that was already, yeah, I think we were already well into the second year of our what is nowadays deemed a forever world. And I was looking for a new project, and as I stated before, our Forever World server, I feel that we've played so much on this server. We've set up so many farms, for example, automatic farms to get all sorts of equipment in the game. It feels like we spent the first year, before we even dared venturing into the end, we spent the first year setting up infrastructure for all sorts of projects, and I feel that after a year of playing on this server with my friends, we are now in a position where we can finally start doing some real projects. That's the way I feel it. So, and I was looking for an interesting project to sink some time into, and because I really like that, devoting a lot of resources to really large-scale projects where I have to do some planning, and then you have to figure out ways to get all the materials in place and all that. I really found that intriguing. So by autumn 2022, I think I had this idea that let's build a skyscraper in there. And I did some preliminary studies about floor plans and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it took me, I think it took another half a year before I actually started building it. Started building it in May 23. Yes, that's correct. In May 23, I was scouting the server map for a suitable position, and I found another very, very nice spot that is situated at the junction of 3 biomes. I always like that in good builds. They should come close proximity to a lot of biomes, so you can see the mesa biome, and there's desert nearby, and there's also lush trees, and there's access to waterways and all that. So that was really nice. Yeah. By May 2023, I started leveling a plane, because the original plans called for 84 by 84 blocks. I think that's the outer perimeter of it. So I cleared some more space for it. That started in May, and started happily building away on it. So there's a montage of screenshots I did. I should record more building videos where I actually record my avatar building it. I think those videos, when they are presented in time-lapse, they're way, way, way cooler than just having a slideshow of where you build and what you build. Anyway. Okay, I think by fall 2023, so that is already 4 or 5 months into building it, I really started to get the hang of it, and I really enjoyed doing that on my after hours, after I returned from work. Needed to sink my mind into something where I was listening to podcasts and listening to music and all that, and I was building floor after floor. I really, really enjoyed that at that time. And yeah, by February 24, I had topped out the tower. I was busy building the penthouse that I'm very, very proud of, and there is even a video we devoted specifically for this. So yeah, that's the little story behind it. May 23 to February 24. That is when the principal structures were built. And by, I think, March or April 24, I came up with the idea, you know what, we have this Mr. President gameplay where we have mission objectives on our map. I think the tower is next to useless on our server map. The number of, how would you say that? The floor area built with this tower, the sum total of the floor area of all the buildings on our server pretty much doubled, if not quadrupled, with the completion of this tower, which means what all the buildings and structures and houses and apartments that me and my friends built over the past 2 or 3 years on this server. If you take the total floor count and the total area of floors that were built there, that is easily dwarfed by the sum total of the floor area with this tower. So next to useless, there's not much use case for it. And as you can see from the video, the vast majority of the rooms is actually empty. They were all planned with a certain they were all planned with a purpose in mind. For example, the hotel rooms, the hotel suites, the apartments, and all that. But most of them, the vast majority of the 600 plus rooms is empty. And anyway, when I was thinking about this, okay, this is mostly empty, and we have this mission-style gameplay invented and dedicated playing areas. Why not make use of the tower and implement some game objectives in here and see how that fares? And it was an instant success with my friends. We started playing on this map, trying to perform hastes, and that was really, really interesting because there's so much space and room in here that lets you hide and evade. Yeah, it was really, really, really interesting right from the start. Everyone liked it right from the start. And another benefit of the vertical structure of the tower was my friends had trouble at times to relay their location in the Mr. President Fortress. The fortress is a relatively small building complex, but it's lacking a standardized notation for the different areas, the different rooms you're in this fortress, and it makes it difficult to relay to your teammates where are you and where are you trying to go, and all that. And we found out very quickly during the initial phase of gameplay in the tower, it makes it very, very easy to convey your position, because you can always say, just I'm on floor 4 now, okay, and I think the opposing team's on floor 7, so let's convene there, let's congregate, converge there, and try to stop them. That was really interesting. We didn't anticipate that when we came up with the original gameplay mission objectives here. So yeah, I've done that. And another tidbit that might be very interesting to hear. We came up with this idea, TowerHeist Mission 1, the new album, where we envisioned that, okay, there's this team of thieves and they try to pull off a heist, and the heist will be, there's a very, very valuable musical album that's soon to be released by a very famous artist, and of course we want to get our hands on it beforehand. And this came to pass because that was in the spring of 2024 when Taylor Swift was about to release, what's it called, the Tortured Poets Department, and it was the right timing. And when we started looking into, okay, what will be the objective of our heist, something valuable like a diamond or an art piece, then we came up with the idea, why not having it, why should the subject of the heist be an advanced copy of the new album of Taylor Swift? That was like the intro. We never mentioned it specifically in the gameplay videos for copyright reasons, of course, but yeah, that's how that came to be. I think that is a good time to actually thank Ambient Outpost. It's another YouTuber who's famous for having 1 or 2 hour long videos of background ambient, noise and music and all that, and really, really relaxing. Very, very great resource for studying if you want to concentrate or you need some something in the background to not occupy your mind, but to soothe your mind and be conducive to studying and that sort of thing. I've been following him for quite some time now, and I've always found his collages very, very relaxing, really nice wallpaper art and all that. So, and when I was working on the tower, it struck me at one point that if I'm going to make a video about all this, I would like to have this radio chatter, one of the radio chatter collages from Ambient Outpost in the background. And I reached out to him, not expecting any reply really, from someone who's famous on YouTube, but he replied pretty quickly. He agreed to it and paid him some sort of fee, or let's not say fee, but I consider it more like an appreciation of his art, and an artist has to live from something. So I paid him a small courtesy amount to actually be able to use one of his sound collages, and this is the one that you're hearing right here in the background. So huge thank you and shout out to Ambient Outpost. Thank you so much that you allow me to use your work. I really appreciate that, and the quality this brought to my own video is really astonishing. So thank you so much for that. Maybe another interesting thing I would like to discuss here in this context is the 3D map itself. I've been dabbling in 3D rendering techniques for a while now, specifically in the context of web applications. I'm really fascinated by what you can do with this, and I'm a self-taught, I'm an autodidact when it comes to well, not only web design but web applications in particular. I'm not a professional, not by any stretch of the imagination. Self-taught largely in what you need in PHP, SQL, and JavaScript. And I came across this JavaScript library called three.js that allows you to render 3D graphics. And I do not recall when I came across this first, and when the idea struck me that, you know what, this is actually a really good way of visualizing the tower. I don't know, when I combined these two ideas, let's have a 3D rendering of the tower that I built in Minecraft. I really don't know when I did that, but I built a little model of the tower in this 3D engine, three.js, and really liked it for a while. And then I did some research into, you know what, this 3D map, this is actually a really cool feature, because you would be able to show all the players on the server where they are in respect to one another while we play Mr. President TowerHeist style missions in the Minecraft map. Took me a couple of weeks to locate a way to actually figure out a way to extract player position data from the Minecraft server, because once I had that, I was confident that I could just plug it into the 3D map on my private web server and display it. And this is when I came across this Java plugin that was provided by the gentleman from the University of Michigan. Really lovely. I was overjoyed when I found the plugin. I immediately reached out to them saying, look, this is fantastic work. Thank you so much for providing this as basically free software. It's all there on GitHub. You can download it and use it for free. I reached out to them and thanked them profoundly, because that was a turning point. It was a turning point for our gameplay, actually, because once I had a 3D map that could show player positions in real time, this changed the way we played the game completely. Because with the 3D map running in real-time mode, you can see where all the other players are in the tower, and this forced the pacing of our TowerHeist games to such a degree. It really makes you sweat bullets at times. And I've commented at that in some of the gameplay videos, and all the others say that too. It's such a fun way of playing Minecraft. Would not have been possible if it were not for the plugin that we have here. So yeah, this is why the TowerHeist map, 3D map, is featured so prominently in our gameplay videos. It's an integral part of the gameplay. You can't really play it without that. And then we started thinking about ways of implementing it into the meta game. So there's now game features on floor 31, I believe, of the tower, where you can actually suspend 3D player tracking, because the plugin on the server side of the Minecraft server that is basically a little program that you can run from the command line shell in Minecraft itself if you have OP rights, if you have admin rights. So it's basically just another command like teleport or give or whatever. And the way this works, you can set up command blocks that actually calls this plugin and turns it off or turns it on. And this is why we have on floor 31, we have some features where you can redeem some of the MRP tokens to suspend 3D tracking for a time. It will suspend 3D tracking, I think, for 30 seconds. So this basically makes the 3D map freeze player positions because they're not being updated, which is a really cool feature. We envisioned this as being this James Bond style playing off missions where some of the team that is infiltrating the tower is devoted to actually suspending the surveillance of the defending team. So the defenders will no longer know our positions, will only know our last positions, but they know that for a couple of seconds. Surveillance is blind, they don't know where we are, and at this time we will actually perform the actual haste. This is what we envisioned it. It's been absolutely great fun with all my friends, developing this, playing this, and also hearing their feedback and their ideas that we over time implemented. And as you can see, there's an ever-increasing number of features that we implemented into the tower that brought new styles of gameplay into it, enabled more new tactics, and then we had to go back and assess, okay, the last game rounds, I think a certain feature was a bit OP, and maybe we need to nerf it a little bit, or maybe we need to balance it with another game item. So if we saw that the offending team has gained a major advantage that is likely going to be considered OP in respect to the defense, or vice versa, you should try to balance out for a really good gaming experience. And my personal philosophy, and I'm trying not to push my point of view onto my friends too much, my personal philosophy is I would rather not nerf an option that I have there, but I would rather try to offer an offsetting option to the other team. So rather than nerfing existing features, introduce new features that might be balancing. But then again, you might actually suffer from having too many features in the tower. So you have to strike a careful balance there when it comes to designing this kind of gameplay. Yeah, it's an interesting philosophical discussion having there. One of the things that really strikes me as interesting is when I think about this kind of video I'm producing right now, I sometimes have trouble focusing my thoughts and marshalling them and bringing them in line, my arguments or whatever I want to convey. And then I think about the old videos by Technoblade, how articulate and how fluent he talks during his videos, and he's doing that live while he's playing Bed Wars on really top-notch level, and he doesn't have trouble coming up with stuff he wants to talk about, and he's in such an erudite, fluent style. I really admire the way he talks, and also he's bringing a level of erudition and knowledge to the Minecraft community that is, I don't know, I haven't seen something like that in a very long time, if ever. Specifically when I think about the Potato Wars video series he produced, where he starts quoting Sun Tzu. Well, that is absolutely something else, I have to say. Yes, some of our viewers have wondered about why we call the Hail Mary maneuver, why it flashes by Laura on the screen whenever we engage this. So the Hail Mary maneuver is basically a very costly feature in the basement of the tower, which teleports everyone on the server, no matter where they are, back to the lobby and distributes them randomly after a warning flashes. And then after the warning flashes, you've got 30 seconds to prepare yourself mentally for that. So the Hail Mary maneuver was envisioned as a last-ditch attempt by the defense, or anyone who can use it to his or her advantage, to bring everyone here back. So if you see that your opposing team has made so great progress and you cannot catch up to them. There is no other way for you to stop them in their tracks. You can go for the Hail Mary maneuver, but it costs you 6 tokens, so you have to have a lot of tokens in your inventory to actually consider doing this. Okay, long story short, Hail Mary, of course, is a reference to a football maneuver. I think it's more prevalent in North America. Or as the British say, in the former colonies. Be that as it may. Yeah, but we have another player on our server, Laura. It's the wife of Robin, and she is not playing Mr. President TowerHeist with us, but because whenever Robin plays with us, she's usually online too. She likes Minecraft too, but she's busy on another part of the server and is not really participating in the game. And during the early gameplays, whenever we pushed the Hail Mary button, we would teleport everyone on the server, including Laura, who was busy building something or scouting something. Would teleport everyone into the lobby, and she was really annoyed at times. And in some of the videos, you can see that there's a little cobblestone wall that she built in protest when we did that the last time. So what we came up with is whenever you engage the Hail Mary button, it flashes the Bye Laura message first that alerts her that, okay, now's the time to get offline for a couple of seconds. You can rejoin later once the Hail Mary teleport is completed, but yeah, that's how that came to pass. And this is why Hail Mary is synonymous with Bye Laura. Okay, we're now on the hangar levels. The hangar that splits basically the 25th to the 28th floor in half. So you have 2 parts of the tower, and they're not connected to one another. It's a neat architectural feature. So hiding there is usually more difficult. Sorry, finding someone, chasing someone who's hiding there in this 2-part bit of the tower is usually more difficult. So maybe it's a good idea to recap the basic game mechanics that makes Mr. President unique as far as I can tell. It started out as your run-of-the-mill good guys chase the bad guys style of gameplay. That is what we came up with back in the old days when we still played only on the Fortress complex that was built about 1.5 years into our server history. And because we didn't want to emphasize PvP elements too much, so we actually didn't go for you have to slay your opponent, you have to actually kill them to know that you have succeeded. We try to do it on the honor system. Like, if you shoot an arrow and you hit your fellow opponent, that opponent is out of the game. And we relied on the honor system, saying that, okay, yeah, you actually hit me, and I heard it. Definitely, I heard a ping because the arrow bounced on your armor, that kind of stuff. But that quickly devolved into anarchy, and as far as I'm concerned, I like to avoid anarchy as much as possible, specifically on a Minecraft server. It quickly devolved into anarchy because people were denying it. No, you didn't actually hit me, I didn't hear anything, I didn't see anything, and I wouldn't want to accuse anyone of lying, but I think in the heat of the battle you probably didn't notice it, or there might be server lag involved, I don't know. So we needed to find a way to objectively make it clear to everyone involved in the gameplay that someone had been hit. So there's a really nice map of our server, as you can see there. One side is about 10,000 blocks, so I think the left side of the map even includes the world spawn. And yeah, it's a huge map. It's on the highest detail level. Anyway, I digress. So we had to find an objective way of making it clear to everyone that someone was being hit by an arrow and taken out of the game, because we didn't want to follow through with killing people. That way would be unambiguous if someone's hit or not. And the way we did it eventually is we found a way to craft custom arrows that will imbue a very specific status effect. I think it's the absorption effect. It's the least used of all the status effects. No one on our server, as far as I can tell, is using potions to get the absorption effect or whatever, so it's rarely, if ever, used on the server. And once you're being hit by this custom tipped arrow that gives the status effect absorption, there's a set of command blocks that will detect you having that particular status effect. And these command blocks will then set you into the spectator mode and issue server commands. So, I'm sorry, not server commands, but server messages. So anyone on the server will see the message, player X was hit and taken out of the game. And this was really serendipitous. We discovered very, very quickly that whoever was taken out of the game and placed into spectator mode still had great fun. So you couldn't influence the gameplay because you were taken out, you couldn't do anything anymore, but just following around your teammates and seeing what they're doing, and maybe even following the opponents and relaying information to your teammates back, even that was great fun. So even if you're not actively playing in the game, just following it around, there was so much suspense and fun in it that we finally decided, you know what, other people, if we like watching our teammates play, maybe other people might like to watch us play this game. I don't know. Is there a platform for something like that? Is there a platform to make gameplay available to nerds out there? Of course there is, called YouTube. Welcome to the 21st century, Daniel. So, and this is where the idea was born. Hey, let's have a little YouTube channel. How hard can it be? And yeah, now we're pushing 60 subscribers after 2 years. I'm really, really glad about that. And obviously, there's a lot of people out there who share our interest in that and find it interesting what we do and like to watch it. It's really satisfying feeling, I have to say that. Yeah, another really interesting question to ask might be, how did we actually come up with the Mr. President style gameplay in the first place? So infiltrating structures that we specifically built for our gameplay, have it set up with command blocks that fulfill certain functionalities so that you can track the mission progress, all that kind of stuff. It actually started with the hotel, little hotel that I built. I think that's like 8 stories and nothing even remotely comparable in scale to the tower we're just perusing here. This little hotel we built in Neugrindelwald, which is the primary city on our server, where each and every one of our players has at least one house, because that's one of the rules we stipulated. You can build as much as you want, anywhere you want on the server, scout, build hidden bases, whatever, to your heart's content, no problem. But as an owner of the server and part of the server community, you should have at least one house in the seat of government, so to speak. This is Neugrindelwald, our city that we built, and there's the town hall that Robin built. It was actually one of the first large-scale projects that we had on the server back in the day, back during COVID lockdown. Alright, anyway, and we were anticipating an influx of new players because more and more of our friends and extended friends and family and friends of friends expressed an interest in joining our server at one point or another, and we had no place to actually house them because our city is very far away from the world spawn, so we had to find a place to shelter people and house them. And we came up with this idea of, you know what, let's build a little hotel here, and the hotel is topped by the presidential lounge, what I called it. It's basically, I think it's the second to last floor from the top that houses, I don't know, presidential guests, something like that. And then one evening when I was showing Robin this, Robin came up with this idea, you know what, this would be the perfect setup for an assassination mission. Daniel, you know what, I'm going to be the president, I'm going to sit here in the hotel, and you try to sneak up on me and try to kill me. And it was absolutely fantastic fun we had. We extemporized some game mechanics, some basic rules that we could do, but we quickly discovered that because we were still playing in the real part of the server, you can't just blow up bits and pieces of the hotel and break into hotel suites and all that without leading tremendous amounts of damage. It was great fun, but it damaged the building in the process, and that was the evening when we actually had conceived of the idea, when we had the inception, so to speak, of the Mr. President idea, because the next thing we knew is we were scouting areas far away from the population centers of our server and built up a dedicated playing arena so buildings and all that kind of stuff, structures, where we could play Mr. President, and then it quickly evolved into the idea that, okay, all the equipment you might ever need is being provided to you in a ready room, and you basically pack your survival gear that you've accumulated on the server, you pack that into a chest and put into a locker, and all the equipment you would need for the gameplay you will get from command blocks. And that way we would also level any discrepancies in player strengths, because there's players who have been here from the beginning, so they were like 1.5 years already into the play, and then there were new joiners who haven't even had a base built to them. They don't have the resources to have like netherite armor and all that kind of stuff. So we said, okay, you know what, for the duration of the gameplay, forget what you have on the survival side of things. You're being provisioned with everything you would possibly need. And yeah, that's how we came up with the Mr. President idea. So we've arrived at the penthouse now. That's interesting. There is one more thing I would like to talk about when we discuss the tower setup as a tactical map where you can play hide and seek or all sorts of tactical gameplay. The fact that all the rooms that you're seeing in this video, all the 600 individual rooms, are accessible by a ventilation shaft system that is just between 2 levels. And the way this works, I'm going to superimpose some pictures of how that goes. Every one of these floors has at least one entrance point where you can get into the ventilation shaft. Some of the floors even have 2 of those. And if you know where these access points are, it makes it very easy for you to pull off surprise tactics that will give you an advantage over the opposing team, because they might not necessarily know where you are. They might try to find you on a given floor, but they will not see you because you're actually crawling through the ventilation shaft system. And the ventilation shaft system was specifically designed to reach every one of these rooms on any given floor, and all the floors have them. So this is a huge plus. We did this from the very start when we started constructing the tower. As you can see, all the floors have these access points. All the floors have access from the ceiling to all individual rooms. It provides an alternative way to get around the tower. Yeah, we're close to finishing now. We're now in I think that's the primary guest suite of the penthouse on floor 34 of the tower. Yeah, floor 34 that we're touring right now. It forms the architectural and the physical pinnacle of the tower. There is even one mission profile that we've already written for this. I think that's mission 3. We have to switch on or switch off signal beacons that are located just, as you can see here, just with the staircase, with the primary staircase of it. Yeah. The entire tower chunk, so the entire surrounding of where the tower is situated, is available for download. It's actually a region file, a Minecraft region file that you can download from our Patreon. It's available there in the shop. So if you're interested, if you're looking for a huge, intricate map where you can set up some tactics game, or as I said, that you want to play hide and seek with a group of friends, and you need a really big map to do that, a complicated map that allows you for all sorts of stealth, subterfuge, hiding, this might be it. And it's completely available. The entire chunk where this is situated, the entire region where this is situated, is available for download, including the ready room and all the command blocks. So if you play on 1.21.3, I believe it is 1.21.3, that will allow you to use all the command blocks and all the game items that we have already incorporated into our gameplay. Yeah, would be yours for download. Check out our Patreon. Link is in the description. So we've finally arrived here at the rooftop of the tower, and as you can see, there is only 5 more rooms. I said repeatedly that we have over 600 rooms. That is one interesting point to point out. This does not yet include the L-shaped rooms that we have on the inner ring. So basically the layout of the tower is you have 2 rings of rooms, and the inner ring has these L-shaped rooms, and they are not yet modeled in the 3D map, but of course they're part of the tower, which means this easily adds another 100 rooms to the total count that we have here. It's really over 600. So I hope you enjoyed the tower tour that I gave you. You can see it in its entirety. Hopefully you also enjoy our gameplay videos. So thanks for watching. If you like that, consider liking, and of course subscribe to our channel.